But from the very beginning, they had the keyboard players, the guys in the, Bernie Worrell, Jerome Rogers, Joel Johnson. They had me playing. They wanted me to play. And then it wasn't long before Blackbird McKnight and Gary Scheider, Billy Bass Nelson, Cordell Boogie Marsun, and Lige Curry, and all these guys, Benny Cowan and Greg Thomas, all my uncles, my big brothers, really not even my uncles, my big brothers, kind of leaned in and like pulled me in, and were like, this guy can actually play or whatever, that's how like Blackbird always used to tell it, and Lige, and Clip Payne and all those guys. And I studied with them quite rigorously, and including, of course, Mr. Bernie Worrell, who I did like 3 really rigorous years of training with. But studied with all of them, Gary Scheider, Mike Hampton, learned so much and just continued my training, as a keyboard tech / keyboard player in the band. But I was basically in the band from the beginning thanks to the guys. It was the older guys in the band who had taken me in a way that they almost didn't take in any of the other younger guys. So I was really honored. But they knew this was my favorite music and that I'd studied already. I'd already done a decade of study or more of P-Funk before I'd gotten in the band, whereas some people come in and all they know is whatever's on the radio, even people who come into the band. But I knew that it deserved a canonical look, a canonical study for this keyboard chair. The keyboard chair, because of Bernie Worrell, he did not make it an easy job to fill, so he definitely set the bar very high. And I'm proud to have not only met with his approval as well as a lot of the other original guys and George, but also managed to have the longevity that I've had, because that's one of the hardest things to do in a band like this, is have longevity, especially if you're not from the core group that came in, like, the more sort of enunciated decades of P-Funk's history, 70s, 60s, mostly 70s. Most people who join in those other decades don't last for whatever reason. And so I got an unbroken 22-year tenure, I'm proud to say. So that's, I'm proud of that.
You're the quarterback behind there, with your keyboards and everything. And George, obviously, how does he call you? I mean, he's in his early 80s. Does he call you up for, let's jam on something, record something, as much as he did back then?
Yeah, maybe more in a way, because we live so close together. Like we're in the same neighborhood, so I could walk to his house if I had to. And so, yeah, he comes over here. We do a podcast called a Bump by Bump Rundown.
Yeah, I've seen that. Those are really cool. Yeah.
Thanks. And so we do them right here in my studio. And a lot of times we'll talk about all the stuff we're working on. We work quite a bit, not just in Parliament-Funkadelic, but I do production and music director jobs for his art shows. And then he joins me as a special guest on my book shows. So, which we're having many, many more of in this coming year. There's a lot of stuff coming up that George and I are doing, along with a few sort of key members of P-Funk, of the rhythm section that are joining us for those.